doing today? Continuing our daily discussions about what is going on in the financial markets, cost of capital, real estate, all those good things. And the first thing I want to start with is love to hear from you. What are you doing? What are you doing for fun these days? A lot of us are on stay-at-home orders. You might mean taking some walks, maybe watching a flick on TV with the family, reading a book, maybe studying your market if you're following what I talk about, i.e., learn your market. But I'm curious, what first thing I want to hear from you today is leave a comment below. Let me know what you are doing these days, just to have fun. I think a lot of the stuff out there is nerve wracking and the like, and you know, my experience is if you can find a way to put a smile on your face or on the face of others around you that you love and care for, the day is just better. So we're heading into a weekend. Love to hear what you're doing. Just love to get some positive vibes going, so we can see that we'll get through this together. So first off, got to talk about the unemployment number. I've been warning about this for a couple of weeks now. It, in my opinion, is almost frankly a useless number. The stats were put together kind of mid-month, right around the beginning of the worst of this. Still saw a loss of 701,000 jobs, which is not even what is it? Not even 10% of what we know happened after that. So we know that there's been 10 million unemployment claims kind of after this survey. So a 4.4% unemployment print, which came out today, is frankly useless. I know they do this survey monthly. I would like to see them do it again, like next week, just because this number is so useless, and people see it. And frankly, when you see numbers like this, you almost lose faith in the freaking reporting, right? It's just God, just a useless number. Still, 701,000 jobs lost is the worst since March of '09. I promise you next month will be horrific and hopefully a one-time thing, but it is what it is. I did see an interesting article, really for the first time. There was a hedge fund guy. I should have noted his name, but I'd never heard of him. Basically telling people to go to cash. Actually, every other kind of hedge fund talking head on TV was, either talking, they were all talking their book, but it was interesting to see most of them are talking about, hey, it's time to nibble, time to look over here, time to look over here, basically trying to keep our cash in the market. But this individual was like, nope, time to go to cash, no bottom in place. And I think he's right. I think we take out that bottom from a week ago pretty easily here, sometime this month, as as the data continues to build and go forward. So pretty interesting. I am starting to see more talk of a fourth bill, right? The third bill being the $2.2 trillion bill that really is in the works. They've just supposedly spun up. Bank of America was the first bank to spin up this paycheck protection plan or loan. So they are definitely trying to help individuals and small businesses. I think it is also clear that this one-time check of 1,200 and I think it was $350 billion is not enough. I think there's a very good chance that the small businesses oversubscribed that 350 billion by Monday. So I could see a fourth bill coming and actually being necessary. I think they should do the fourth bill if they're going to do it. Just say, hey, X amount of dollars are being sent to people to stay home. For every month, this is a national emergency or something to that ilk, so they don't have to continually go back and go after this. If they do a fourth bill, my hope is it's not another 800 pages. It's, hey, we're just changing a number, right? The small business was 350 billion. Now it's a billion or a trillion or whatever it is. Sorry. I don't want to try to do new things. They are running so fast and so hard to do this. If you remember the Great Recession, it took 18 months to really get things going. And seemingly now it's 18 days. So let's just change the numbers of help, not what is going on. That would be good. You're definitely going to have to take care of individuals more. I am a little concerned about the $1,200. What I heard, and I'd love to see if you guys heard this too. They're talking about if you get a paper check, basically you haven't given the federal government your banking information, which I haven't. I no thank you. It's going to take 3 to 5 months to get a check. That's that's not helpful. Not helpful for some. So pretty interesting there. Saw some numbers on Manhattan real estate yesterday. This is going back to my thesis that unaffordable markets, which if you've read my book, One Rental at a Time, you know affordability is something I track and I talk about a lot. And I've talked about, 5% of the country going into this was unaffordable, right? Manhattan, I often use as an example, just like the Bay Area and Orange County and the like. And I think those markets are in trouble. I found an article yesterday talking about the stats from March in Manhattan. While transactions were up, which kind of shocked me, prices were down, and they only had 2 transactions over $4 million, which for Manhattan is ridiculously low. So their average volume or the average price was down 14%. And as transactions fall and the high end collapses, people are talking about a 30% hit to average. And again, this is more the statistical math that I've talked about many, many times, right? When you take the average and then you take out the, 2 standard deviations away from the high end, the average gets so much smaller because it's obviously those tail at the high end that can skew numbers. So this is going to be a problem. Manhattan, Bay Area. Bay Area hasn't felt a great deal of pain just yet. It is going to. As this thing lags on, it is going to. And high end and flipping and all that stuff is going to be a really, really painful spot. And I think these Manhattan numbers are the first of many, many to come. So watch out. But that also means 95% of the country is okay, right? If you're in an affordable market, affordable housing, it's water, food, shelter. That doesn't change. People don't want to live on the street. People don't want to live in their cars. So watch out for that. Thank you, Jonathan. So be very careful in those areas. I also think there's a chance that these high-priced areas like Manhattan and the Bay Area see an increased exodus as our service sector was always limping along. Now that we've asked them to stay home, it's got to be ridiculously hard for them to maintain, month to month. So it's pretty easy to get a U-Haul truck and move to a lower cost of living area. So we could fundamentally see a change in major expensive cities on the other side of this. And I don't think anybody's thinking about that yet or talking about it. So that there will be ramifications after this in the real estate market in the high end areas. And I think prices are going to come down double digits. Could they come down 30%? Absolutely. In the high priced areas. Airbnbs are something that is becoming an interesting concept. A lot of people who went into the Airbnb market have been doing great business over the years, now falling off a cliff. When I look at this, I think there's a couple of things. First off, if you're in kind of a working class city and all of that, and maybe if you're doing, mentals to traveling nurses, you're fine, right? You're going to be crushing it. But if you bought in a beach town, right? If you bought in Lake Tahoe or any of these areas that's very vacation oriented, that doesn't have a huge population, man, that's going to hurt. So playing this out, first and foremost, you're going to try to go monthly rental, which you're just going to saturate the market. You're not going to be able to cover your mortgages. You're going to ask for forbearance. So I see real estate in vacation areas taking a huge hit second half of this year and first part of 2021 as people just give up. Airbnb, the math looks great in a spreadsheet. The math looks great in a spreadsheet, but when people don't want to travel, they don't want to travel. So it is, I think Airbnb is going to be the cause of a lot of foreclosures and short sales. It will be focused on certain markets, think beach towns, think resort areas. It is going to be ugly. It's going to take everybody down. Most Airbnb owners who bought recently can't flip to long-term rental and survive. Right? They need the daily rates to get there. So that would be interesting. I had a question come up just a second ago from Joey talking about tenants. I haven't found an issue with staffing tenants. I had 3 vacancies over the last 2 weeks. Two or one's moving in today, one moves in tomorrow on Saturday, and the third one we're actually evaluating 4 applications. So again, remember I'm at the affordable level. So I haven't seen a hit yet as far as activities. And again, at least in my town, construction is considered essential. So we're still able to turn units, do repairs, do remodels. So that is still going on. We're obviously instituting lots of safety issues, and we're not doing mass showings like we used to do. So that's kind of stuff. So I'm worried about Airbnb and the short-term market. I bring that up because I have a house in Sedona, Arizona. I actually bought it almost 20 years ago and had for my grandmother to live in. So that town is already seeing a big hit from Airbnb. Lots of people, as I talked to my property manager, talking about not a good time to own stuff in Sedona. So let's see. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. I think house hacking, Airbnb, all these things that led to people overpaying in an affordable market just comes back to bite you. I don't know. Again, the reason I talk about at real estate meetups is I just want to see where everybody's going, and it's it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, you can actually go back and watch. There's a 90-minute session of me talking to a team in Richmond, Virginia. I think about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I actually said before all of this that syndications were in trouble because I saw a problem coming. I didn't see this, obviously. Airbnb. I mean, it's just when stuff's unaffordable, it's unaffordable, and you can't fake it. You can't force it. And unfortunately, when all the herd goes one direction, people get hurt, and people are about to get hurt. They're going to get hurt house hacking. They're going to get hurt Airbnb. And if you're a limited partner or a general partner in a syndication, you're going to get hurt. And I tried to warn you. And you can go back and watch lots of my videos. I've been warning you for 6 or 9 months. Next up, I want to talk about Tesla. Tesla is a stock that is a darling out there. They actually delivered 88,400 vehicles last quarter, which is interesting. Yeah, and I'm wondering, I want to do another over-under with you. These are just fun for me to see where you're at. So I checked before I hit record, and Tesla was at $488 roughly. So what is today? April? Is today the 3rd? I think today's the 3rd. So what do you think on Christmas, this year Christmas? So what is that? 8 months away, roughly 8.5 months. Will Tesla be above 488 or below 488? What do you think? What do you got? I'm going to take the under. I believe Tesla is a car company. I believe Tesla is currently evaluated as a cult stock. And I think we see sometime Q2, Q3 where it is no longer a cult stock, but a car company. And when you see that valuation change from cult based to car based, the win is going to come out of their sales. That's my guess. Please keep in mind, I have no money on this. I'm not taking a short position, not buying puts. I'm just having fun because there's a lot of people that watch this channel that are fans of Tesla. And really what I think the problem is in the Silicon Valley, I see them everywhere. I think within 50 feet of where I'm recording this, there's probably 7 Teslas. So it's a very common thing, and I think the Bay Area is in for a shock, and we're going to see a change in consumer behavior. Good morning. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on. So let me know. Tesla, 488. You got the over or the under? Oh, hello from Japan. How's everything in Japan? Hopefully you're safe and well. So again, let me know what you think. Tesla, over 488, under on Christmas Day 2020. We'll see what everybody thinks. And then the last thing, I think there's a couple of things that are interesting. I think on the other side of this, we are going to have, I think the world is going to have a infrastructure spending or investing, they'll call it investing, of course, coming out of this. It'll be one of those things to really get things started. The other side of this, there will be opportunities galore for all of us. We do have to survive in order to thrive. So think about that. Again, for me, it's survive through 2 quarters because I see this getting increasingly better as we get out. We got to find the bottom. I was definitely disappointed in that unemployment number today. It's fake. Um, yeah, and that's in Japan. Again, be safe. So it's going to be interesting to watch what's going on. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, the entrepreneur, the capitalist kind of program. Sometimes you got to burn. You got to. There'll be lots and lots of restaurants that don't come back, lots of retailers that don't come back, but there will be opportunities to kind of fill those gaps. So I am optimistic on the other side, but I know we got to go through hell to get there. So be safe. Let me know what you think about Tesla, over, under. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.